Welcome to the Stoic philosophy. Today, I'm about to share something that could change your entire perspective on life. And it's something we've all struggled with at some point. How to truly focus on yourself and embrace the power of silence. In a world constantly demanding your attention, where everyone is fighting for a piece of your time, it's easy to lose yourself in the noise. Your thoughts become cluttered, your goals get blurred, and you start chasing things that don't even matter. But what if I told you that the key to mastering your life isn't about juggling all those distractions, but rather learning to focus solely on yourself and remain silent? Think about it for a second. How much time do you spend worrying about what others think of you? How often do you find yourself giving in to the loud voices around you, whether it's on social media, in your relationships, or even at work? Every day, we're bombarded with opinions, judgments, and demands. The world wants something from us constantly. But here's the question: what do you want for yourself? What if you could silence everything and truly listen to your inner self? This is where Stoicism comes in. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who knew how to live with purpose and power, understood the importance of self-focus. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They all taught us the same thing. True freedom comes from turning inward, from learning to control what you can, and ignoring what you can't. They showed us that silence isn't just the absence of noise. It's a powerful tool for mastering the mind. When you stop chasing the world's distractions, you gain clarity, focus, and the ability to make decisions that align with your true values. Imagine for a moment if you could cut through all the noise in your life and focus on your own thoughts, your own goals, your own well-being. No more chasing after approval. No more falling into the trap of comparison. You'd finally be free to live life on your own terms, confident, grounded, and calm. But how do you actually do this? How do you step away from the distractions and embrace the Stoic way of focusing solely on yourself and staying silent? It's not about running away from the world or ignoring your responsibilities. It's about training your mind to filter out the irrelevant and concentrate on what truly matters. In this video, we'll explore why these Stoic practices are more relevant today than ever before. We'll uncover how focusing on yourself, in silence, can lead you to a life filled with purpose, inner peace, and strength. We'll talk about the timeless wisdom of the Stoics and how you can apply these lessons in the modern world, where distractions are endless and peace seems out of reach. And let me tell you something, this journey isn't just about achieving peace. It's about becoming the strongest version of yourself. Not by competing with others, but by winning over your own mind. By mastering silence, you'll unlock a power within that the world can never take from you. So stick around and discover how focusing only on yourself and embracing the power of silence can change your life. This is the first step toward true inner freedom. And if you find value in today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic philosophy. We're just getting started. And trust me, you won't want to miss the wisdom that's coming next. Part 1. The Stoic philosophy of focusing on yourself. The essence of Stoic self-focus. At the core of Stoicism lies a simple yet profound truth. The only thing truly in your control is yourself. In a world full of external pressures, distractions, and expectations, the Stoics understood that to live a life of virtue and peace, you must first turn inward. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean being selfish or self-centered. It means taking responsibility for your own mind, emotions, and actions. The Stoics taught that you should prioritize your inner world, shaping your thoughts, reactions, and values to align with your highest purpose. Wise self-focus is the key to freedom. When we let the world dictate our thoughts, we surrender our power. Think about it. How many times have you made decisions based on external validation, or followed a path simply because others expected it of you? The Stoics knew that true freedom comes from within, from mastering your own mind and focusing solely on what you can control. By focusing on yourself, you stop letting the opinions, judgments, and circumstances of the outside world pull you in different directions. This allows you to cultivate a sense of inner strength and peace that no one can take away from you. The power of silence in self-focus. In today's fast-paced, always connected world, silence has become a rarity. Yet the Stoics believed that silence is a powerful tool for self-mastery. It's in silence that you begin to hear your own thoughts, your own true desires. It's in silence that you can strip away the noise of the world and hear the quiet wisdom within. Silence isn't just about the absence of sound. It's the absence of distractions. It's the space where your mind can focus, reflect, and grow. By embracing silence, you create a safe haven for your thoughts to become clearer and more aligned with your true self. The role of self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of Stoic self-focus. Without understanding your own mind, you cannot hope to control it. The Stoics placed great emphasis on knowing yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, values, and fears. They believed that by becoming aware of your thoughts and behaviors, you can begin to separate yourself from them. This means that when you feel angry, anxious, or stressed, you can step back and recognize that these emotions are not who you are. They are simply passing reactions. The more aware you become, the more control you gain over your inner world. In essence, self-awareness empowers you to choose your responses instead of being a slave to your impulses. The importance of rejecting external validation. In the modern world, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking approval from others. We often measure our worth based on likes, comments, and the opinions of those around us. But for the Stoics, external validation is irrelevant. They believed that our value is not determined by what others think, but by our own virtues. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic minds, urged us to focus on being a good person rather than seeking the praise of others. By turning inward and focusing on your own development, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of trying to please everyone. Your worth is intrinsic, not based on how others see you. The discipline of self-control. Focusing on yourself also requires discipline, especially in the area of self-control. Stoicism teaches that we must be the masters of our impulses, emotions, and desires. In a world that constantly tempts us with distractions, it's easy to lose focus and fall into unhealthy habits. The Stoics believed that by practicing self-control, we can align our actions with our values and live in harmony with our true selves. This doesn't mean repressing your desires, but learning to manage them. It's about being able to say no to things that don't serve your highest purpose and saying yes to those that help you grow. Discipline is the bridge between intention and action, the key to turning your self-focus into real, tangible progress. Practical application of Stoic self-focus. So, How can we apply this Stoic philosophy in our daily lives? The first step is to set aside time each day for self-reflection. This could be through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. Use this time to check in with yourself. Ask yourself how you're feeling, what's important to you, and where you need to focus. The second step is to practice self-awareness throughout the day. Notice your thoughts and reactions and try to separate yourself from them. Remember, you are not your emotions or thoughts. You are the one observing them. Finally, remind yourself that the opinions of others are irrelevant. Your value is determined by your actions and your ability to live in accordance with your own principles, not by the fleeting approval of the outside world. By adopting the Stoic philosophy of focusing on yourself, you can begin to cultivate a life of inner peace, strength, and true freedom. It all starts within. You are the master of your own mind, and by turning inward, you gain the power to shape your destiny. Part 2. The role of silence in the Stoic way. The power of silence in a noisy world. In a world that's constantly bombarded with noise, whether it's the hum of technology, the chatter of social media, or the endless demands of modern life, silence has become a rare and precious commodity. Yet for the Stoics, silence wasn't just a retreat from external noise. It was a tool for self-mastery and inner peace. The Stoics believed that silence offered the space needed for reflection, growth, and clarity. It allowed them to silence the chaos of the world long enough to hear their inner wisdom, guiding them to a life of purpose and serenity. Silence is the gateway to stillness, and stillness is where true understanding begins. Silence as a tool for inner clarity. In the constant rush of daily life, it's easy to lose touch with what truly matters. We're often so focused on external circumstances that we forget to look inward. Silence brings clarity. It provides a space where we can filter out distractions and focus on the most important truths. In moments of silence, the Stoics found the opportunity to reflect on their thoughts, actions, and emotions. Through this introspection, they could gain insight into what was in their control and what was not, allowing them to align their actions with their highest principles. When we embrace silence, we give ourselves the chance to clarify our purpose and understand what truly drives us. The art of listening, a Stoic practice. To the Stoics, silence wasn't just about refraining from speaking. It was also about becoming a better listener. Often we talk without truly listening, either to others or to ourselves. But by practicing silence, we can learn to listen more deeply, not just to the words of others, but also to the unspoken truths within ourselves. Listening is a form of self-discipline. It requires us to step back, observe, and fully absorb what's being communicated, both externally and internally. In this quiet space, we can hear the wisdom that might otherwise be drowned out by the noise of the world. Silence as a means of self-control. In Stoic philosophy, self-control is one of the highest virtues. The ability to govern one's impulses and reactions is essential for living a life of integrity and virtue. Silence plays a significant role in cultivating this self-control. In moments of frustration or anger, the Stoics taught that silence could be a powerful response. Rather than reacting impulsively, we can choose to remain silent, allowing ourselves time to process our emotions and think before we act. This pause, this moment of silence, gives us the power to break free from the automatic responses that often lead to regret and misalignment with our values. The practice of silence in daily life. Incorporating silence into daily life doesn't mean retreating into complete solitude. It means creating intentional moments of quiet throughout the day, even in the midst of chaos. The Stoics often practiced periods of deliberate silence, whether during their morning reflections, throughout their work, or in their interactions with others. By setting aside time each day for quiet contemplation, they could sharpen their focus, realign with their values, and prepare for whatever challenges lay ahead. Silence is a practice, not an event. It's something that can be woven into the fabric of daily life, helping us to stay grounded and centered in a fast-paced world. Silence in speech. Speaking with purpose. For the Stoics, silence wasn't just about staying quiet for the sake of quietness. It was also about speaking with purpose when words were necessary. The Stoics recognized the power of words, the ability to uplift, guide, and influence others. But they also understood that words, when used carelessly, could cause harm, stir conflict, or lead us astray. In moments of silence, we have the chance to reflect on what we'll say next, and to ensure that our words are in alignment with our values. By speaking less, but with greater intention, we can make our words more powerful and impactful. Silence as a path to emotional mastery. One of the greatest benefits of silence is its role in emotional mastery. The Stoics were keenly aware of how emotions like anger, fear, and sadness can cloud judgment and lead to poor decision-making. Silence provides the space to detach from these emotions and gain perspective. When we're angry or upset, our initial impulse might be to lash out or react. But by practicing silence, we give ourselves the opportunity to step back, regain composure, and choose a more measured response. Silence creates the emotional space needed to process our feelings and decide how we wish to respond, rather than simply reacting out of impulse. The ultimate power of silence. In the Stoic worldview, silence is not a passive act. It's an active choice, a deliberate decision to cultivate peace, clarity, and wisdom in our lives. Silence is not just the absence of sound, it's the presence of thought, focus, and self-awareness. The more we embrace silence, the more we unlock our ability to control our inner world and navigate life with greater ease and resilience. In this stillness, we find the space to grow, reflect, and evolve. Silence is the fertile ground where the seeds of Stoic virtue are sown, and in that silence, we discover the strength to live a life true to ourselves. Part 3. The importance of self-control in achieving personal growth. Self-control as the foundation of virtue. In Stoic philosophy, self-control is not merely a practice. It's the cornerstone upon which all other virtues are built. Without self-control, no other Stoic principle can truly be realized. The Stoics believed that a person must first gain control over their desires, impulses, and emotions before they can lead a life of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Self-control is the bedrock that supports everything else. It's the ability to choose reason over impulse, calm over chaos, and action aligned with values over reaction driven by emotion. Without this control, we remain slaves to external circumstances, tossed about by our emotions and desires. Mastering the inner world for outer peace. Personal growth begins within. It's not about changing the world around us, but about transforming the way we respond to it. Self-control allows us to master our inner world, and through this mastery, we gain the power to shape our reactions, thoughts, and behaviors. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control everything that happens in life, we always have the power to control how we respond. Whether faced with hardship, frustration, or temptation, our ability to exercise self-control determines the trajectory of our personal growth. True strength lies not in resisting external forces, but in the power to remain steady, calm, and aligned with our values, no matter the circumstances. The role of delayed gratification. One of the most profound aspects of self-control is the practice of delayed gratification. In a world that thrives on instant results and quick pleasures, the Stoics taught that personal growth often requires waiting, resisting short-term temptations, and focusing on long-term goals. Delayed gratification is the ability to choose what is truly beneficial over what is immediately satisfying. It's about saying no to fleeting desires in order to say yes to something greater. This practice helps us stay focused on what truly matters, whether it's our health, our relationships, or our personal development, and avoid distractions that might lead us astray. Self-control as emotional mastery. At its core, self-control is about emotional mastery. The Stoics believed that emotions are not inherently good or bad. They are simply signals that provide information. However, unchecked emotions can lead to irrational decisions, impulsive actions, and unnecessary suffering. Self-control allows us to manage our emotions instead of being ruled by them. When we feel anger rising, frustration building, or fear creeping in, self-control gives us the space to step back, reflect, and choose how to respond, rather than letting emotions dictate our actions. By mastering our emotions, we don't suppress them, but we guide them, ensuring that they serve our higher purpose rather than derail it. Self-control in daily decisions. Personal growth is shaped by the decisions we make every day. Every moment offers an opportunity to practice self-control, whether it's resisting the urge to react impulsively in a difficult situation, choosing healthy habits over harmful ones, or maintaining focus when distractions arise. The Stoics encouraged us to see life as a series of small decisions, each of which shapes the person we become. Each choice we make, no matter how small, reflects our commitment to our personal growth. The practice of self-control, therefore, is not just about major life decisions. It's embedded in the everyday choices we make. The more we practice self-control in the small moments, the more we strengthen our ability to control ourselves in the big moments. Self-control and personal integrity. Self-control is also closely tied to personal integrity. To live a life of virtue, the Stoics believed that we must align our actions with our deepest values, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. Integrity requires us to make choices that honor our commitments to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. Without self-control, we may find ourselves compromising our principles in the face of temptation or difficulty. The Stoic path demands that we act in accordance with our values, regardless of external pressures or the opinions of others. Personal growth is not only about becoming better at what we do, it's about being true to who we are and making decisions that reflect the highest version of ourselves. The rewards of self-control. Though self-control requires effort and discipline, its rewards are immeasurable. By cultivating self-control, we gain freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of our impulses, from the chaos of our emotions, and from the distractions of a world that constantly pulls us in different directions. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes not from external circumstances, but from the ability to govern ourselves. When we have control over ourselves, we are not at the mercy of our circumstances or emotions. We are free to choose how we respond to life, free to act in alignment with our deepest values, and free to pursue the personal growth that leads to a life of meaning and purpose. Self-control as a lifelong journey. Finally, it's important to remember that self-control is not something that can be perfected overnight. It's a lifelong journey, a continual process of learning, growing, and refining our ability to choose wisely. The Stoics understood that we would face setbacks, moments of weakness and temptations along the way. But they also knew that each moment of failure was an opportunity to learn, to strengthen our resolve, and to continue moving forward. Personal growth isn't a destination, it's a continual unfolding. With each step we take in exercising self-control, we become more aligned with our true selves and more capable of living a life of virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. Part 4. How focusing on yourself and staying silent leads to inner peace, the power of focused attention. In a world filled with distractions, focusing on yourself becomes a powerful tool for achieving inner peace. The Stoics believed that true tranquility can only be found when we turn our attention inward, away from the noise of the external world. By focusing solely on your own thoughts, actions, and growth, you begin to detach from the turbulence of others' opinions, judgments, and societal pressures. This internal focus allows you to cultivate a deeper understanding of your own values, desires, and goals, ultimately leading to a sense of clarity and peace that remains untouched by external chaos. Self-focus as a path to clarity. When you focus on yourself, you are no longer at the mercy of the world around you. Instead of reacting impulsively to situations or people, you gain the ability to respond with intention and purpose. Self-focus brings clarity. Clarity about who you are, what you value, and where you want to go. In this state, you are no longer distracted by superficial matters or petty concerns. Your mind becomes free of clutter, allowing you to make decisions that are in alignment with your deepest desires. With this clarity comes peace, as you are no longer caught in the constant tug-of-war between external influences and internal turmoil. Silence as a tool for reflection. In Stoic philosophy, silence is a vital practice for achieving inner peace. The constant chatter of the world can drown out the voice of reason, leaving us confused and overwhelmed. Silence, on the other hand, allows us to hear our own thoughts clearly. It provides space for introspection, reflection, and self-awareness. When we embrace silence, we create a sanctuary within ourselves where we can pause, think, and align our actions with our values. This moment of quiet helps us connect with our true selves, allowing us to navigate life with a calm mind and a steady heart. The discipline of silence. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is a discipline. Choosing silence over unnecessary words or distractions requires conscious effort, but it is an essential part of the Stoic way. The Stoics recognize that much of our suffering comes from speaking too much or engaging in idle chatter. Words can easily lead to conflict, misunderstandings, or wasted energy. By choosing to remain silent, we avoid the emotional turbulence that often accompanies spoken words. In silence, we cultivate peace, as we are no longer caught up in the drama or unnecessary noise of the world. Silence becomes a form of personal discipline, a way to protect your energy and maintain your inner equilibrium, embracing solitude for self-growth. Silence often leads to solitude, and solitude is where true growth happens. The Stoics valued solitude as a way to connect with the deeper parts of ourselves. In solitude, we are free from the opinions and expectations of others. We are able to hear our own thoughts without interruption, enabling us to reflect on our actions, beliefs, and aspirations. Solitude offers an opportunity to step away from the distractions of daily life and to focus on personal development. It is in these quiet moments that we can confront our weaknesses, refine our strengths, and make decisions that align with our highest purpose. Silence as a source of strength. While silence may seem like a passive practice, it is, in fact, a powerful source of strength. In a society that often equates busyness with productivity, silence allows us to cultivate a deeper sense of inner fortitude. By silencing the constant chatter of the world, we gain the space to listen to our inner wisdom. This internal dialogue becomes a guiding force, helping us make choices that reflect our true values and desires. Silence strengthens our resolve, as it encourages us to act thoughtfully and purposefully, rather than impulsively or out of reaction. In this sense, silence is not weakness. It is an expression of strength and self-control. The relationship between self-focus, silence, and peace. When we focus on ourselves and embrace silence, we create the ideal conditions for inner peace to flourish. Self-focus helps us center our thoughts, while silence allows us to reflect on those thoughts without the influence of external distractions. Together, these practices lead to a sense of calm, as we no longer feel pulled in 1,000 different directions. We become grounded in who we are and what we value, and we respond to life's challenges with a quiet strength. Inner peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in our ability to face those problems with clarity, purpose, and a calm mind. By focusing on ourselves and embracing silence, we build the foundation for a life of peace, resilience, and fulfillment. The freedom in focusing on yourself. One of the greatest freedoms we can experience is the freedom from the expectations of others. When we focus on ourselves and embrace silence, we detach from the judgments, opinions, and demands of the world around us. This freedom allows us to live authentically, in alignment with our own values and desires. It is the freedom to be true to ourselves, to live life on our own terms, and to pursue personal growth without the need for external validation. In this space, we are free to grow, to evolve, and to find peace, regardless of what is happening in the world around us. Part 5. The influence of external noise and distractions. The constant distractions of modern life. In today's world, we are constantly surrounded by noise, both physical and mental. The relentless hum of technology, the flood of information, and the demands of social media create an environment where focus and inner peace are often hard to find. The external noise of the modern world can drown out our ability to think clearly, to reflect, and to connect with our true selves. This constant barrage of distractions pulls us in multiple directions, making it difficult to center ourselves and find peace. The Stoics understood the power of external distractions, which is why they place such an emphasis on maintaining control over our thoughts and focusing inward. The erosion of inner peace. External noise and distractions don't just interfere with our ability to focus, they also erode our inner peace. When we allow ourselves to be swept up by the noise around us, we lose touch with our sense of calm and clarity. The more we engage with the chaos of the outside world, the more we allow it to control our emotional state. Our thoughts become fragmented, and we start reacting to the world rather than responding thoughtfully. This constant state of flux and reaction makes it nearly impossible to achieve the Stoic goal of inner tranquility. True peace comes from detaching from external chaos, not from immersing ourselves in it. The illusion of busyness. In the modern world, there's a pervasive belief that busyness equals productivity, that constant activity equals progress. However, this is often an illusion. Engaging with every distraction and responding to every demand only contributes to a sense of chaos rather than purpose. The Stoics warned against being caught in this trap. True productivity, they believed, comes from focused effort, not from filling our time with shallow, superficial tasks. The constant external noise fosters a mindset where we feel compelled to be busy all the time, but in reality, we are simply spinning our wheels. When we fall into this trap, we lose sight of our deeper goals, and our inner peace becomes increasingly elusive. The dangers of comparison. One of the most insidious effects of external distractions is the constant comparison to others. Social media and other platforms often showcase a curated, idealized version of reality, leading us to compare our lives to the seemingly perfect lives of others. This constant comparison can create feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and dissatisfaction. When we measure our worth against others, we lose sight of our unique path and purpose. The Stoics taught that true contentment comes from within, not from external validation or comparison. By embracing the philosophy of focusing on ourselves, we free ourselves from the trap of comparison, allowing us to live more authentically and peacefully. The power of withdrawal. The Stoics advocated for the practice of withdrawal from external distractions as a way to protect our peace of mind. Withdrawing from the noise doesn't mean physically retreating from the world, but it does mean creating space for ourselves. Space where we can reconnect with our values, our purpose, and our inner selves. This withdrawal is not about isolation or avoidance, but about creating the conditions for personal growth and reflection. By periodically stepping back from the external world, we can maintain our focus, reduce the influence of distractions, and regain a sense of control over our own minds. This practice of withdrawal is essential for preserving our inner peace and remaining grounded in our true purpose, the freedom of detachment. One of the most powerful tools for managing external distractions is detachment. Detaching ourselves from the constant pull of the external world gives us the freedom to choose where we direct our energy and attention. The Stoics believed that we should focus only on what is within our control and let go of the rest. This detachment allows us to maintain our peace, regardless of what is happening around us. When we stop attaching our happiness to external circumstances, whether it be the approval of others, the outcome of a situation, or the latest trend, we free ourselves from the cycle of constant distraction and regain control over our emotional state. The consequences of too much noise. Excessive external noise and distractions don't just affect our peace, they also limit our potential for growth. When we are constantly bombarded by external stimuli, our minds struggle to focus on what truly matters. We can't find the time or space to engage in deep thought or reflection. which is essential for self-improvement and personal development. The Stoics understood that growth requires solitude and quiet reflection. Without the ability to retreat from the distractions of the world, we are unable to cultivate the mindset and habits necessary for growth. In this way, external noise not only steals our peace, but also stunts our ability to reach our full potential. Learning to master the noise. The Stoic response to external noise is not to resist it entirely, but to learn how to master it. We cannot control the noise around us, but we can control how we respond to it. By practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, and creating intentional quiet spaces in our lives, we can regain control over our focus and peace of mind. The more we train ourselves to remain centered in the midst of external distractions, the less power they will have over us. In this way, we can transform the external noise into a tool for growth, rather than a source of stress and anxiety. Conclusion: reclaiming your peace. External noise and distractions will always be a part of life, but they don't have to define our experience. By embracing the Stoic practice of focusing on ourselves, detaching from unnecessary distractions, and learning to master the noise, we can reclaim our peace. When we remove ourselves from the constant pull of the external world, we can reconnect with our true purpose and live more authentically. This peace is not fleeting. It is a steady presence that grows stronger with practice, providing us with the clarity, focus, and inner strength we need to navigate the challenges of life with calm and purpose. Part 6. The Path to Mastery and Peace Through Solitude. The value of solitude in the Stoic way. In a world that constantly demands our attention and presence, solitude can often be seen as a luxury or even a burden. Yet, in Stoic philosophy, solitude is recognized as a powerful tool for personal growth and mastery. The Stoics knew that true clarity of thought, inner peace, and the development of wisdom could only be achieved through moments of solitude and reflection. By stepping away from the noise of the world, we allow ourselves to connect with our deeper thoughts and understanding, untainted by the distractions of everyday life. Solitude creates a sacred space where the mind can be trained, sharpened, and prepared for the challenges ahead. The power of reflection. Solitude is not simply about being alone. It is about creating the conditions for deep reflection. In silence, we are given the time and space to examine our actions, our thoughts, and our desires. Reflection is the cornerstone of self-improvement, and it is through solitude that we can truly evaluate our lives. In the quiet of solitude, we are able to assess whether our actions align with our values, whether we are pursuing goals that matter, and if we are remaining true to our principles. This practice of introspection helps us become more conscious of who we are and what we wish to become. The Stoics understood that without moments of quiet reflection, we risk becoming reactive rather than proactive, drifting through life without understanding the deeper reasons behind our actions. The silence of the mind. In solitude, we also learn to silence the chatter of our minds. The constant noise, whether from external sources or our own thoughts, can cloud our judgment and distort our sense of reality. Mastery over the mind requires silence. By quieting the inner noise, we allow ourselves to experience true clarity. In this stillness, we gain access to the deeper wisdom that resides within us. The Stoics believed that a clear and focused mind is the foundation of a calm and virtuous life. Solitude helps us strip away the distractions that often drown out our internal voice, allowing us to connect more deeply with our own truth. The relationship between mastery and solitude. Mastery in any area of life requires discipline, practice, and, most importantly, time. Solitude offers us the opportunity to invest in ourselves without interference. True mastery, whether in personal growth, a craft, or any skill, is a solitary pursuit. It is through hours of quiet work, introspection, and dedication that we begin to develop true expertise. This is the Stoic approach to personal growth. By focusing inward, we can cultivate the virtues that lead to mastery and success. Solitude allows us to concentrate fully on the task at hand, whether it be developing wisdom, achieving physical excellence, or honing our emotional resilience. It is in these quiet, solitary moments that we build the foundation for greatness. Solitude as a path to inner peace. The ultimate goal of Stoic practice is to achieve inner peace, a state of calm and equanimity regardless of external circumstances. Solitude plays a key role in this pursuit. By distancing ourselves from the distractions and demands of the outside world, we create the inner space necessary for peace to flourish. In solitude, we are free from the noise that disrupts our inner tranquility, and we can learn to embrace stillness as a source of strength. The Stoics taught that peace does not come from external sources. It is cultivated from within. By spending time alone in contemplation, we strengthen our ability to remain calm in the face of adversity and to navigate the complexities of life with grace and wisdom. The courage to embrace solitude. In a society that often values constant connection and activity, embracing solitude requires courage. It takes strength to step away from the demands of the world and to choose time alone over the busyness of modern life. Courage is needed to face our own thoughts and emotions in solitude, as this can sometimes be uncomfortable or challenging. However, the Stoics believed that it is precisely in these moments of discomfort that growth occurs. By embracing solitude, we cultivate the courage to face our fears, confront our weaknesses, and engage in the inner work necessary for personal transformation. Solitude is not an escape from the world. It is a way to reconnect with our true selves and align our lives with our highest values. The transformative power of solitude. The path to mastery and peace is not a quick or easy one. It is a journey that requires dedication, self-discipline, and a willingness to spend time in solitude. Solitude is a transformative force that allows us to shed the distractions and external influences that keep us from realizing our full potential. In these quiet moments, we gain clarity, strengthen our virtues, and deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The Stoics understood that it is in solitude that we discover who we truly are, and it is through solitude that we are able to build the resilience and wisdom needed to navigate life with calm and purpose. Solitude as the gateway to authentic living. To live authentically, we must first learn to live with ourselves. Solitude offers the space to reconnect with our inner voice, the one that tells us who we are beneath the surface, beneath the roles we play and the expectations of others. It is only in solitude that we can uncover our true desires, our deepest values, and the purpose that drives us. The more time we spend in solitude, the clearer this voice becomes, and the more aligned we become with our authentic selves. By embracing solitude as a regular practice, we open the door to a life of authenticity, grounded in purpose and self-awareness. Conclusion: the mastery of self through solitude. The Stoic path to mastery and inner peace is rooted in the practice of solitude. Through reflection, silence, and focused effort, solitude enables us to cultivate wisdom, strengthen our resolve, and achieve the clarity needed for personal growth. By embracing solitude, we free ourselves from the distractions of the world and allow ourselves to focus on what truly matters. In this quiet space, we gain the insights and strength necessary to live a life of purpose, integrity, and peace. Solitude is not an escape. It is the key to unlocking the fullness of our potential and finding the peace that resides within. Conclusion: embracing the Stoic path to peace and mastery. As we come to the end of our exploration into the Stoic philosophy of focusing on yourself, staying silent, and finding peace, it's clear that these principles are not just abstract ideas. They are powerful tools for transforming our lives. The Stoic teachings offer us a roadmap to reclaim control over our thoughts, actions, and ultimately, our happiness. By prioritizing ourselves, embracing silence, and cultivating self-control, we can experience profound personal growth and inner peace. The Stoic journey is not about isolating oneself from the world. It is about reconnecting with the most essential parts of ourselves. In silence, we gain clarity. In solitude, we find strength. And in focusing on our own growth, we create a life that is rich with meaning and purpose. The distractions of the world will always be there, but it is through conscious self-discipline and moments of quiet reflection that we can cut through the noise and find peace within ourselves. Ultimately, the Stoic philosophy teaches us that true mastery and happiness come not from external achievements or validation, but from internal peace and control. It is through solitude, silence, and a commitment to self-improvement that we unlock the potential for a life well lived, a life that is calm, focused, and aligned with our deepest values. So, as you move forward in your own life, remember that the path to peace and mastery lies in looking inward, embracing silence, and staying committed to your own growth. By practicing these principles daily, you can create a life of true contentment and purpose, no matter what external circumstances may arise. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic philosophy for more content that empowers you to live a calm, controlled, and purposeful life. Thank you for joining us on this journey.